All right, today we're going to walk through a super practical guide on using Superflow C200. Now, if you've ever dealt with fertilizer, you know the headache that is caking. So let's just skip the fluff and dive right into the solution.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll quickly touch on the caking problem itself. Then, we'll introduce a really efficient solution. After that, we get to the good stuff, a full step-by-step guide on how to actually use it. And we'll wrap up with the quality control points you need to watch to get perfect results every time.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the problem. Fertilizer caking isn't just a small annoyance. It's a seriously common and, honestly, a very costly challenge for the entire industry.
I'm guessing if you're watching, this question probably hits home. When fertilizer clumps up and turns into a solid block, it just creates this massive domino effect of problems, messing up everything from storage all the way to application.
I mean, just look at this. When fertilizer hardens into these solid chunks, the quality and, more importantly, the flowability of the product just plummets. This means you run into issues in storage, major difficulties with packaging, and of course, really inefficient application out in the field. And that ultimately hurts the product's effectiveness.
So what can we do about it? Well, there's an efficient agent out there designed specifically to solve this exact problem. Let's get into it.
And here it is. The solution is an anti-caking agent called Superflow C200. This is the product we're going to be breaking down for the rest of this explainer.
So what is this stuff exactly? Well, Superflow C200 is a light brown, oil-based liquid. Think of it as a really smart mix of special surfactants and oils that are engineered to perfectly coat fertilizer granules. Its main job? To stop dust and caking in their tracks. It works great for all sorts of fertilizers. Okay, so what makes it so good? First off, it gives you a really stable and, frankly, superior anti-caking effect. It's also super easy to use, which makes managing costs a breeze. And this is crucial. You only need a tiny amount, which means it has no negative impact on crops or the environment, and it won't even change how the fertilizer looks. It's really all function, no fuss. And now for the main event, the how-to. We're going to walk through the exact process for applying this agent safely and efficiently right into your production line. But before we get into the step-by-step, let's zoom in on two numbers. These two figures are absolutely critical. Getting these right is the foundation for making this whole process work. The first critical number is the dosage. You're looking at a recommended range of about 1.5 to 2.5 kilograms for every metric ton of fertilizer. Of course, this isn't set in stone. You can fine-tune it a bit based on your specific needs and what kind of fertilizer you're working with. And the second number, which is just as important, is temperature. The agent has to be heated up to between 70 and 80 degrees Celsius before you apply it. This step is key because it gets the liquid to the perfect viscosity so it can be atomized and sprayed effectively. The application process itself is actually very straightforward. Let's break it down. Step 1, you heat the agent to that 70 to 80 degree sweet spot. Step 2, you use a metering pump to get really precise control over the flow. Step 3, that hot liquid gets atomized through a special nozzle, which creates this really fine mist. Step 4, you spray that mist evenly all over the fertilizer particles. And finally, step 5, you mix everything up really well in a coating drum to make sure every single granule gets a nice, even coat.
So, applying the agent is one half of the battle. But making sure you get consistent, high-quality results every single time, well, that's where our final section on quality control comes into play. You know, the real secret to achieving that stable, superior anti-caking effect with every single batch is just keeping a close eye on a few key parameters. So here it is. Think of this as your operator's daily checklist. First, a quick visual check. Make sure the liquid is light brown. Second, use your metering pump to keep that dosage right in the 1.5 to 2.5 kilo range. Third, constantly check that the temperature is holding steady between 70 and 80 degrees. And finally, keep an eye on the density. This is so important for making sure your pump is calibrated perfectly. Nail these 4 points, and you've nailed consistency. So when you put it all together, what you have is a really efficient and environmentally friendly solution. It's a simple industrial process that delivers a huge improvement in your final fertilizer quality.
And you know, it's always good to remember why this all matters. A high-quality, free-flowing fertilizer means it can be applied effectively in the field. That directly leads to better nutrient delivery, which means healthier crops, and at the end of the day, a more productive farm.
And that brings us to our final thought for you to take away. With this whole process in mind, the real question is,
How can you take these steps and optimize them in your own production line to get the absolute maximum efficiency and product quality? Thanks for watching.